Hey everybody, Shane here, Shoebox Legends. Thanks for tuning in for a video that I'm sure will achieve new heights in terms of viewership here on my channel as I combine two of the hottest topics in our little community, artificial scarcity and buyback hockey cards. So strap on your seatbelts, this is sure to be a winner. But all kidding aside, I am excited to get to it. We're gonna look at some pro set buybacks, some artificially scarce pro set buyback cards. You can't obviously smell it, not being on location here at Shoebox Legends World Headquarters, but the smell of artificial scarcity just hangs in the air here as we get into these. And so what are these cards? Well, Pro Set, if you're not familiar, you probably know them if you collect football or other sports, but they emerged onto the trading card scene in 1990. And in the hockey realm, they released three flagship sets. They had their first set, 90-91, which is my personal favorite. Looked like these, extremely colorful, great team color matching borders, photography that was actually really sharp for that time period. They printed, of course, their downfall, millions and millions of copies of these cards. I still have unopened Pro Set wax boxes in my basement that I inherited from my dad when he used to buy cards for us, 35 years ago now, back in the day. So that was their first set. They did a second set in 1991, which is what you see here in the background. This Ron Francis, that's the 91 design. And then they put out a third and final hockey set in 1992, which looked like this Pat Verbeek here. My least favorite of the three designs. I think they got progressively worse from year one to year three. That combined with the overprinting, competition in the space, etc. Long story short, they were out of business, no longer a company after those three hockey sets. Well, 30 years after that inaugural set, the company Leaf acquired the rights to Pro Set. And what they did is they issued these buyback cards numbered to just 5 or 1. So there are 6 copies of each, a gold buyback numbered to 5 and a red buyback, which is a 1 of 1. And they issued those first 3 Pro Set releases as buybacks in a modern, they called it Pro Set Memories set. And so I have a bunch of those to look at here today. And the reason I'm showcasing these, I was able to win a lot of them in one fell swoop about maybe 3 or 4 weeks ago now. These do not come out often for sale. They're very, very tough to find. And when these went up, had to make a play and ended up winning quite a few of them. We'll take a look at those. But first, I want to feature the Hartford Whalers buybacks that I have from this program. I've never shown these on the channel before. And we'll start with the 1991, the inaugural set, and I'll breeze through these really quickly. But again, a lover of buybacks, numbered to 5, just can't get enough of these. It's a set that, hits right in the heart of my childhood collecting nostalgia. And so these have been irresistible to me if I can find them at the right price. If you have any of these and you're willing to trade them, definitely hit me up. But we have Ivan Korovo, Randy Cunneyworth, and these are all the gold numbered to 5. So you can see they get a stamp here, Pro Set Memories buyback, and then they're going to be numbered out of 5 in the case of the golds. SGC does grade these, which I've sent in this Ron Francis and Wayne Gretzky in the past, 2 of my better examples. I love collecting Hall of Famers from this release. May send in this Pat Verbeek down the line as well, but they do look nice slabbed, and they have that serial numbering right on the front with SGC. So back to the team set, Randy Cunneyworth, Adam Burt, Sylvain Cote, Paul Sear, Ed Kastelik, some obscure names here. Peter Sidorkowitz, he was a favorite of mine, and I have 2 copies of that one. 40% of the print run that's out there. Mike Tomlak, Kerry Wilson, Bobby Holik, rookie card. That's actually a pretty nice buyback there. He went on to have a very successful NHL career. Backup goalie Kay Whitmore. Pretty cool. And then here's a nice one, Gordie Howe. They had some Hall of Fame legends at the end of the checklist and depicted Gordie in his final NHL season, which he did play with the Hartford Whalers. So love that. And then I even managed to get the head coach, Rick Lee. And then I have one red, 1 of 1, which I talked about in the intro. Really the same stamp, just a 1 of 1 in red foil instead. Don't really go after these. They hardly ever surface, but I did find this Grant Jennings out of steel. So those are the first of 3 years of Hartford Whalers. Far from a complete team set. There are a couple players, notable players that I've never seen at all to date. Ron Francis, Kevin Dineen, some of the better guys on the club. So I don't know if I'll ever find those, but when they pop up, I like to scoop them up. And then from the second and final 2 years of Pro Set, Murray Craven, Randy Ladouceur, these are 91, 92s. And then from the final release, I have a second copy of the Pat Verbeek. So story here is I won one of these a while back for about 25 bucks, which I thought was good. Certainly not a steal, but I was definitely competing with another Verbeek or Whalers collector out there. And then in the lot that came up this summer, maybe 3-4 weeks ago now, there was another copy of the Verbeek. I put a snipe in at about half what I paid for this one, and I won it anyway at under $10. So 500 goal scorer Pat Verbeek, happy to have 2 copies of that one. Sarli Zalapski, rest in peace. Murray Craven, we saw him earlier. There's another Bobby Holik, and this one notes his trade to the Devils, the team that he's probably best remembered with, although he played for a few franchises. And then everybody's favorite in the NHL video games back in the day, speedster Jeff Sanderson. So those are the Whalers that I've been able to pick up to date. But other than the Verbeek that we talked about, those were not picked up during this summer batch. So let's finish out the video here with some stars. If you've stuck it out this long through 6 minutes plus of buyback and Hartford Whalers talk, you may get a little bit more enjoyment out of these. So this is the batch that I won. These were all from the same seller. They went up on the same day, ending at the same time, 99 cents starting bid, and they just kind of let them fly. So they finish all over the map. They're really, really hard to track down. That, like I said, they don't come to market often, and I was just really grateful to win as many as I did. One of the highlights for me was this Cam Neely, known for playing Seabass and Dumb and Dumber on the 1990 release. And I got this for $9 and change, which I thought was really, really good. He's a Hall of Famer, 50-plus goal scorer. And if injury had not derailed his career, it's interesting to imagine just what he would have accomplished. He's now in the front office with the Bruins, so great card there. Hall of Fame defenseman Kevin Lowe, stalwart on those 80s Oilers championship teams with Gretzky and Coffey and those guys. It's another Hall of Famer here, Pat LaFontaine. Not one of my favorite cards, but being a Hall of Famer, I really find it hard to resist these. So I did put in kind of what I thought was a low snipe and ended up winning this one as well. Mark Howe, Hall of Fame defenseman and son of Gordy, who we saw in the Whalers portion of this video. Pretty cool one there. This was dirt cheap, like maybe $5, I want to say, something like that. And then here's one that I'm really proud of. Paul Coffey with the Penguins, who were winning back-to-back Stanley Cup championships around the time that Pro Set emerged as a company. So just a great card here. I love the jerseys from this era. Love the look of this card again with that team color matching design. Just fantastic. Here's a look at the back. We haven't looked at any of those yet, but really, really dug that first Pro Set release in particular. I know they get a bad rap and they're looked at as junk wax these days, but it's just a fun set to collect and enjoy. And I'm really, really happy that Leaf treated us to these buybacks. So this was the second most expensive card of the lot that I won back in July, I think it was. Bobby Clark. So this is from the same kind of subset as the Gordie Howe that we saw in the Whalers portion of the video. So some nice old school Hall of Fame greats there. He was part of the Broad Street Bullies, Philadelphia Flyers teams in the mid-70s, who also won back-to-back Stanley Cups. Peter Stastny, who I remember he came up with the Quebec Nordiques in the 80s, but here he is after being traded to the Devils, later career card of his, but sneaky Hall of Famer, and this one went for around the $10 price point as well, and you can tell we've now moved into the 91, 92 design, like that Ron Francis that we saw at the outset. I really would like to grade up some more of these. I think it'd be cool to have a slabbed SGC collection of these. And then here's the big boy. This is the card that I wanted to win most out of that batch that went up for sale. I'll share it here. I don't mind. The final price on this ended up being, I think, $50. And you might think that's crazy for a 1991 Pro Set hockey card, but man, I just I love the image on this one, and I'm a sucker for buybacks. What can I say? And it definitely helped me be aggressive in bidding, knowing that I also had the Ron Francis, the Wayne Gretzky, and numerous other Hall of Famers to display this with. That definitely goes a long way. I mean, you could make an argument these three were, three of, I'd say, the top 5 players in the game at the time that this set came out. So getting Lemieux into the collection was essential. Honestly, I was worried. I think my snipe was somewhere in the $66 range. I think I did that on purpose. And I was worried I would still lose the card even at $66 because, artificially scarce or not, there are Lemieux collectors out there, and Super Mario is Super Mario. So here's a neat one. This is from the second year of Pro Set. They did kind of some of these old school scenes and like sepia photography. So this is, I think, an outdoor game being played on a lake in Montreal. Yeah, Montreal Canadiens practice outdoors in buyback format, copy 1 of 5. This one wasn't too expensive, and I just thought it was kind of neat. And then we close out with 2 Hall of Famers on the 92-93 design. Got another Cam Neely. So I'm 2/3 of the way through the Cam Neely buyback run now, which is pretty cool. If I ever see his 91, the one that I'm missing, I'll make an effort. And then last but not least, Hall of Famer that you don't hear spoken about all that much, Mark Recchi for the Flyers. Finished his career with Boston, with the Bruins back in the day, and copy 5 of 5 on the Mark Recchi. So that's a wrap. Just wanted to get on and share these. I know, like I said, kind of tongue-in-cheek in the beginning, this may not be my most popular video, but I don't do the channel for views. I do the channel to share my collection. Perhaps somebody will see this and be inspired by these or learn something they didn't know before. And if not, at least I've documented them here, and I can kind of file these away and move on to the other videos that I have coming. So thank you for 12 minutes of your time if you made it to the end. I'll be back soon with some more sports card content, as you know. And until then, enjoy the hobby. Take care.